Hey everybody, how's it going? King Kunta here with another tips and tricks video. Today I'm going to show you the proper way to set up your Demon Hunter in order to run Torment 6 successfully by yourself, even greater Riffs by yourself. Let's get right into it. Okay, so in this tutorial, basically what I'm going to outline is the skills you're going to want to use and the best gear for the build that I'm going to show you. So, let's start off with the skills. Now this is your basic Sentry build, but with a little bit of a twist. So, you're going to do Evasive Fire with Focus Rune as your left click. So that allows you to do cold damage. That's what we're going to focus on, is cold damage for our main skills. And on top of that, you're not going to have to hit anybody to generate hatred. So your right click, you're going to want Cluster Arrow with Maelstrom, and for obvious reasons. I'll show you why after I demonstrate. Number 1, you're going to want Vault with Tumble. 2, Preparation with Punishment. That's going to allow you to, again, generate hatred. And Companion with Wolf Companion. Now, we're going to use full Marauders for this set, for the gear at least. And so until you get the full set, you're not going to be using all of the companions like I have up here. But the special set bonus obviously lets you use them all. But until you get them all, just use Wolf Companion. It'll give you the damage bonus and things like that. And then 4, we're going to have Sentry, obviously, as Polar Station. So again, cold damage. We're focusing on cold damage with our Sentry, our Cluster Arrow, and our Evasive Fire. Our 3 main skills that are doing damage are cold. So this turret chills nearby enemies and slowing their movement by 60%. So what you're going to want for your passives is you're going to want to lay them out, custom engineering. So obviously you're going to want your Marked for Death, Spike Trap, and Sentry to do 100% more damage, and it gives you another Sentry. Cull of the Weak. So again, like I said, with our cold damage, our Sentry's going to chill them with that bubble. So increase damage against slowed or chilled enemies by 20%. So that's another 20% right off the bat that we're going to be adding on to our damage. So awareness, obviously, Demon Hunters don't focus on being able to stay alive for long periods of time. Let's just say that we stay behind our sentries and we stay alive. And if something happens to breach your sentry wall and hit you, that's what you have awareness for. And ballistics, just to increase your damage. Okay. So let's go on to gear. For gear, you're basically going to want Marauders, feet, legs, chest, head, shoulders, and gloves. So the whole set. And the reason why I use the whole set instead of using a royal ring and 5 pieces of the set is because you can you have the option to switch out one of your rings for a unity if you feel like running things alone and putting one on your follower with the Never Die focus or whatever follower item you're going to use. So like I said, Marauders gear. So let's start with the head. You're going to want to roll critical chance on it. Chest, you're going to want to roll Sentry on. Shoulders, if it doesn't come with Sentry damage, you're going to want to roll Sentry damage on it. Obviously for the gloves, you're going to want to make sure you have critical hit chance, so CC and CD, critical hit damage. Now the belt is important because I like to use the Witching Hour, and the reason I like to use that, some people don't. Some people like to use a few other things, but I like to use the Witching Hour because it gives you the attack speed and critical hit damage, and it also comes with a Demon Hunter skill on it. So or whatever character you plan on using, it comes with a skill on it. So mine just came with Evasive Fire, which is perfect, so I didn't roll it. Legs, I put Evasive Fire on, And boots, you're going to want to put cluster arrow on. Okay, so we just covered the boots, legs, chest, head, shoulders, and gloves. Your rings are really interchangeable. You can use whatever, because we're using the full set of Marauders. But I do suggest that you pick up a convention of elements, because gain 196% damage to a single element for 4 seconds. It rotates through arcane, cold, fire, holy, lightning, physical, and poison. So because the Demon Hunter doesn't use arcane or poison, or holy, sorry, it'll only rotate through cold, fire, lightning, and physical. So that kind of cuts the time you have to wait. So as you can see down here, it's going through physical. Boom, it's in cold. That's when you're going to want to pop off all of your maelstroms with your sentries, and you'll nuke everything. Now your bow, you're usually going to want to use a Atreyu, or if you plan on doing a different build, you want a Kreider shot. But Atreyu automatically comes with cold % damage. The only reason why I'm not using one, I picked a few up, but they weren't ancient, so I'm just using something ancient as for like the damage until I find an ancient Atreyu. But Atreyu is what you're going to want. So like I said about the rings, you're definitely going to want Convention of Elements just for that rotation of elemental damage boost. It gets up to 200% damage boost, so that's really good. Bracers, you're going to want your Reaper's Wraps. A lot of people use different things. I prefer the Reaper's Wraps because of the hatred generation from health globes. And you're also going to want to put cold damage on there, as close to 20 as you can get. I only rolled for 19, but it was as close to 20 as I could get without spending billions of gold on a single roll. For your second ring, you can usually use just whatever you want, just make sure it has a socket. And your CC and CD, that is like critical hit chance and critical hit damage, those are your top 3 that you're going to want to use. It could be any ring, like I said. Just make sure that it has those three properties: the socket, the CC, and the CD. That being critical hit chance and critical hit damage. Your amulet, a lot of people have speculation on what amulet to use. There's a lot of different good ones, to be honest with you. I prefer the Haunt of Vaxo. Mine obviously isn't very perfect right now. It doesn't have cold damage. I need to change that fire skills to cold damage, but you're basically going to want to aim for dexterity, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and socket. Or if you're not using a socket in it, you're going to want the elemental damage for whatever you use. And with the skill set, you can interchange the evasive fire, cluster arrow, and sentry to fire damage and just spec it that way. It just depends on how you want to play. I see fire demon hunters running through things just as easily as cold demon hunters, and there's no problem with that. But now for the most important item for this build, you're going to want to find yourself an ancient legendary Bombardier rucksack, and that being because the 2 additional sentries. Now that specs with the 6 set. Your generators deal 100% increased damage for each active sentry, sorry. So with this giving you 2 additional sentries and custom engineering boosting your sentries up to 3, you're going to have 5 total sentries at a time. So that's really good. That's 500% damage that you're doing. Yeah, so that's what you're going to want to get. That's honestly one of the most important pieces besides Marauders, obviously. Marauders makes the whole build work. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a quick rift just to show you how you're going to want to fight with this build. You're going to want to do your basic pull and kite kind of maneuver. So you're going to want to place all of your sentries down and then pull mobs through them. So I'm going to place my sentries down. And like I said, see how I'm a little squishy? That's because you can't really take as many hits as other classes. So You're going to make sure you have all your sentries down, and then you're going to unload with your maelstrom. Just pop these in here.
Not enough hatred.
And you'll clear everything around you. And that's exactly how you're going to want to run it. See how I'm not hitting anything with evasive fire, and I'm still gaining hatred, which is absolutely key. And I forget the range that you get on your sentries, but they'll attack from very far away. Like so long as you're targeting something within its range. See these ones back here, the original ones, are still firing. So that's good. And just as an example of the awareness passive, just there, I got hit with some frozen elemental damage, almost took all my health away, but obviously it saved me, so that's a perfect example of why you're going to want to use that. Because just the nature of demon hunters, we are pretty squishy, so yeah, you can run things relatively quickly, keep placing sentries ahead of you, move up, sentries ahead of you, move up, that sort of thing. When you get hit with big mobs like 4 or 5, it's not a big deal, like anybody can handle that. But when you get hit with a shitload, obviously just backtrack to where your sentries are and unload your maelstroms, and you're good to go. Anything and everything is getting melted, even champions. So even just rocking with 1 sentry right now, I'm still getting the damage boost from the 5 sentries that I have up around the map, so that's why you want to consistently put down your sentries as you're moving. So you just melts champions, melts elites, it doesn't matter. So long as you have your enough hatred to use your maelstrom. And with Haunted Vaxo, I forgot to point out, you get your shadow clones every time you stun. So in one of your sockets, in one of your rings, if you do roll sockets on them, you're going to want to put a Zai's Stone. So Zai's Stone of Vengeance, and you're going to want to level that up to 25, because that lets you have a certain percent chance, 20% chance to stun the enemy for 1 second on hit. So that's really good. So they basically just work with themselves, and you're consistently having your clones out doing some work for you. At least just taking some of the heat off of you. And that's what's most important, is that you're not having all of the attention right on you. That's why having the pets from the Marauders is really helpful, especially obviously their passives that they bring to the table. That's besides the point. Just having them there for enemies to hit, and having something to hit other than you, is really really important.
Your fear betrays you.
So as you can see, very lackadaisical, very easy to run things through with this Demon Hunter build. Always make sure you have hatred, which you can gain just with the evasive fire. It doesn't gain too much, but that's why you have the preparation as well. Because if you get too low for any reason, you can just go ahead and pop that. Also, when you get your Marauders set full, the companion will give you hatred as well. I forget which companion gives you hatred, but like which exact companion gives you hatred, but I know that they do. So pretty slow day for ancients, though, must say.
Not enough hatred.
Or legendaries, must say. So you pop the preparation, full hatred, let your maelstroms go. Let's show you that the companion will give you hatred. Pop companion, almost full hatred. So depending on whether you how you spec your Paragon points, if you add hatred to yourself or not, it'll give you full hatred every time. So Riff Guardian tactics, what you're going to want to do is just stay as far away from them as you can. Throw down all of your sentries, obviously, and just load them up with the maelstroms. Very easy, very quick. Boss is done, and then you can go ahead and either finish the rift, get the full clear, or just take off. So I'm gonna head back to town and just identify this stupid guy and this Blackthorns. GG gear. We're going to use our Book of Cain here, which is the single greatest addition to Diablo 3, I have to say. So shitty and shitty, obviously. Just going to toss them. Before we go, I'm going to show you how you're going to want to spend your Paragon points. So you're initially going to load up movement speed on your core point, and then you're going to want to load up the rest in dexterity. That's all you're going to want to do for your core. You want to move fast to get away from shit. You're going to want to use dexterity for obvious reasons, right? And what you're going to want to use for your offensive Paragon points, max out your crit damage, max out your crit chance. After that, max out your reduction. And then once that's maxed, put as many as you want into attack speed. Attack speed's not like too important, because it's not like you need to throw cluster arrows at the speed of light. What you're going to want to do is throw into resist all until it's maxed, throw into life percent as it's maxed in your defensive category, and then after that just throw into life generation until it's full, and then obviously armor until it's full if you have high enough Paragon points. Now what you're going to want to do for utility is area damage at first, and then resource reduction second, life on hit third. If you have enough Paragon points, throw it into gold find, whatever. So that's about it. That's your basic cold Sentry build. Good enough to run up to 36 or almost 40 by yourself in greater rifts, and obviously you just saw it's good enough to speed run through normal rifts just by yourself. So thank you for watching, I appreciate it. And if this video helped you, feel free to give it a like and a subscribe. Share the video if it helps you and you think it could help somebody else. Let me know if you enjoyed the video in the comments section, and hope to see you soon. King Kunta out.